Hey, happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're all having an amazing day and getting ready for the weekend. There's a lot of things happening right now between Star Wars, the Disney shakeup, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni bringing new things to the table, and on top of that, we also have a lot of things going on when it comes to the Mandalorian Season 3 Backlash, of how there's a lot of fans very unhappy with this particular season. We went over how Jon Favreau unveiled a couple of days ago about what really went into that, and how a lot of creatives, such as the directors, had some level of creative input on many of the episodes. But anyways, moving on from all of that, this is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that Favreau lately has been very direct with the fans, really kind of answering a lot of questions related to Season 3, what to expect for Season 4, but what's even all the more intriguing has a lot to do with his recent apology about how fans actually reacted to The Mandalorian Season 3, and I think that this comes to make us realize that Jon Favreau was somewhat aware about what they were doing while making this particular season, to be specific. We know that Favreau has said that they had to meet a lot of deadlines and that he preferred to make this 10 to 12 episodes long as opposed to the traditional 8. Are those excuses? Well, he said that he has no excuses for that. But moving on to what, of course, happened with Favreau and what he had to say about Season 3 is actually quite, interesting, because we know that Jon Favreau is a visionary. He always wants to go back to Legends, retell those in a live-action adaptation way. It's exactly why they are doing what they are doing with Ahsoka. Now, on to the next big thing here is that with The Mandalorian Season 3 now over, Jon and Dave have put all their attention on the Ahsoka series, which is said to either make or break the franchise. In a recent interview that Favreau took part in, he went on to apologize to many fans around the globe by stating the following: "It was perhaps a decision that we made that wasn't the right one to allow so much creative input into this season. We allowed many of the directors like Bryce Dallas Howard, Rick, Rachel Morrison, and Lee Isaac to have some creative input on the scripts of each episode. We felt we were doing the right thing by giving the directors a true creative vision in the storytelling process. And perhaps this wasn't the best idea, and we do apologize if this created unneeded stories in this season." Now, let me just stop right here for one moment. Now, Favreau has really kind of talked about this before in the past, that everything related to the creative process of Season 3 involved a lot of creatives. And we do know that that is a big problem. The fact that you had too many cooks, in the kitchen, basically, really kind of sprucing this entire product up. That's what the big problem was. And maybe Kathleen Kennedy was involved. We know that she was involved in a very minor way, not in a major way, but I would not be too surprised, by the way, if it was her call to throw in Lizzo and Jack Black into that episode that felt so just out of touch with Star Wars, in my opinion, to be honest. No hate on Jack Black or Lizzo, amazing people, but let's just face it, they weren't meant for Star Wars. I could see Jack Black, by the way, in Pirates of the Caribbean easily, 100% by Disney. But moving on, he goes on to elaborate, "We have been made fully aware about the fan criticism over this season. It's not a stranger to us, and in response to that, we are only going to do better with the next one. That's about all we can really do, is learn from our mistakes. I still am, however, proud of some of the choices that we have made in this year's story for The Mandalorian. I am proud of Grogu's and Gideon's development, and we got some secrets and tricks up our sleeve as to what we are doing with them. I have, yes, been writing Mandalorian Season 4, and after looking over the fan reception for the third one, we are making some pretty big tweaks for what the story will hold in the next one." So once again, from what it sounds like here is that Favreau is admitting that in response to the fan criticism over Season 3 is that they are literally making changes to Season 4. That's the big, thing that I take away from all of this, is the fact that, yes, he is responding to this, and yes, he is kind of getting a little, concerned. The fact that Favreau really wants to keep his, reputation intact. he wants to do better with season 4. He wants to knock it out of the park. And they also want to knock it out of the park with Ahsoka, by the way. That's going to be like their huge home run, supposedly, according to Disney executives. The executives believe that Ahsoka is going to be like the home run of the entirety of Star Wars, even more so than the sequel trilogy. That's how far they are claiming. And if that's true, good on Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau's part. This could very well make up for, a lot of fans having a lot of problems with season 3 of Mando. Again, it's a make or break situation. If they fail with Ahsoka hard, I don't really know how Star Wars is going to recover. It really all depends. It really depends on where Mando 4 is going to go and where the other Star Wars projects will lead. So let's wait and see. So Favreau goes on to elaborate things further. Again, this is just how things work in the industry, and it's unfortunate that there are creatives out there that don't listen to the fans. Myself and Dave, however, do, and we are going to do the best thing that we can to provide an even greater story next. So again, I am truly sorry if the story didn't catch the typical fans' interest and what they had expectations for, but season 4 we have some pretty wild surprises coming your way. It's going to be a game changer for sure, and I am just so eager to show everybody who is a true, dedicated Star Wars fan. Now again, the thing that I find interesting about this, of what Favreau says, is that they have some pretty wild surprises coming our way for Grogu and Gideon in season 4. As far as Gideon goes, I would not be surprised if it's going to be a clone that's Force sensitive in season 4, and that would be pretty interesting, to say the least. But moving on to the real issue here is that, yes, a lot of fans come to me and they say, well, Mike, I felt like season 3, most of it felt like filler episodes, and this is what I'm seeing like left and right from a lot of people, and maybe you guys agree too. But there's a lot of people that believe or realize or feel that 6 out of 8 episodes of Mando Season 3 just felt like flat-out filler. And a lot of fans did not like how there was a monster fighting the Mandalorians almost every other episode, and how the comedy was a little too much, and how there was too much walking around. I mean, there's a lot of criticism about the season, let's be honest. I do agree that they should have dialed back on the number of monsters, fighting the Mandalorians. I felt like that was a little too over the top. We had, I think, 3 or 4 of them in this season, to be exact. But, moving on to the next big thing here is that I'm going to give Mando Season 4, one thing here is that it does have the opportunity to really turn things around for The Mandalorian, regardless of what happened with Season 3. If Favreau is claiming that it's really going to be a game changer, and he really means that, so be it. I like how he's responding to this in a way where he's making tweaks to the story to kind of shift things around a little bit and do something really exciting. So overall, I like how the finale played out. I really do. I felt like, it ran a little slow at times, but the end, like the last 15 minutes of the finale, was spectacular. It was very well produced, very cinematic, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.